Okay, the time is 4:40 p.m., March 2nd, 2025. While all this was going on, a very rich, wealthy, affluent man around my age, maybe whatever, in his 40s, okay, youngish. He didn't look old, man. It's like if you look at me, no offense to people who are older, I'm trying to ID him. Okay, we all get older. He looked like he was built, like he could be a Fed too, but probably not, but who fucking knows anymore with this fucking area. He was wearing a pink shirt, button up, a blazer, and he was walking a small dog on a leash, a black and white, really sweet, innocent dog. He was in the alley and he was circling outside, right outside directly. I could see him from floor 1. So you know that clear shot I have to the alley from floor 1. He did not leave there the entire time. He just circled the alley with all that trash, with the poor innocent dog. Right by that gate, by the garage, I could see him, clear shot. Okay, he was super tan. He goes tanning all winter long. He had a jarhead haircut. I don't know what's going on with the military anymore. That's why I just can't understand how the U.S. military can actually consider themselves the U.S. military. So he had a forever tan. He goes tanning all winter fucking long. He had a military haircut. He's wearing a pink fucking button-up shirt, a blazer, and walking a little dog with these pair of expensive pants, blue jeans. The guy was dressed to the nil in the fucking alley, stalking the place while all this was going on. Okay. I had biological weapons poisoning. Okay, I had to go to the bathroom. Okay, so I got hit with a fucking biological or chemical weapon through all this. I don't know if it was me or if it was being used on people. Sometimes I really can't define that. And now, as far as the chemical and biological poisonings that I know I was targeted with today, I can't talk about it. I can't even say if there was more. It's appalling that I can't talk about anything. What I'm supposed to report is this. From the house 1507 S Street Northwest, before I went to the bathroom, now there was events, terrorism that took place. I can't talk about it. Before that, I can't even say a word about it. And then I was on my way out and I'm in my extra room. As I'm opening the door, I can hear it through my closed door in my main room. It sounded like someone was in the house. That's what I believed. And they were working on plumbing. And they were as loud as you could possibly be. And they did not care. They were in here working hard on a massive, major plumbing job. That is what I thought to expect when I opened my door. You could hear it in my main room. You could hear it in my extra room. I knew it was coming from my second floor. So I went to look to see them in my bathroom or maybe on the first floor, but it was affecting my bathroom. That's where all the plumbing job was coming from. It was loud and they were furiously working. What kind of sounds? Well, that's what I'm getting to. So I opened my bedroom door. I'm hearing all this. I open it up. It's occurring where I said they shoot and propel these military equipment stuff and things, the base of the second floor. And it was spread all the way to the wall facing the alley of the second floor. So it was this huge parameter. It was going underneath my bathtub, and it was going all the way down into the first floor on the wall, conjunct to 1507 S Street Northwest. I heard objects being shot into my property, just crashing through under the floor sporadically, louder than I've ever witnessed ever in the 5 years I've been here. It was a construction job, if you want my testimony of how loud, and not what I thought, no, but I can't say what I witnessed exactly, my interpretations of it. I can only call it terrorism. And I can only describe it as construction to get over how loud it was. I cannot talk about the weather here. I cannot talk about anything that's happening in this terrorist block. This is a compound, a complex, an ISIS complex. I can't talk about it. Can't tell you nothing. All right, so I opened the door. I'm completely freaked out. I hear these objects flying at such high speeds under my floor sporadically, louder and faster than I've ever witnessed. I opened the door so quiet because I'm convinced there's someone out in the house, in the bathroom. I look, the noise is just going on and on with the wall under the bathtub everywhere I described with the shooting objects. And I could hear the objects shooting into the house from underneath my bathtub, underneath my toilet area. So that's what I mean. It went all the way to the wall, and it went further past my toilet, which is a good 1.5 feet, to the wall, to the entire perimeter of the property line there. From the base of the second floor all the way back to the edge of the house. And while those objects were just crashing into the house from under the floor, there was the entire plumbing system, metal pipes literally being ripped out. It's what it sounded like. That's why it's clear for me to say, I'm okay to say, I'm at liberty to say, it's allowed to say how it sounded in description. It sounded like a construction job ripping out huge, massive home plumbing pipe installations. And all this other pipes and metal sounds of that nature. There was cranking, this object that was like, that's how I describe it, as if you have a huge industrial crank and you're moving it clockwise, you crank. I really can't get into describing this. That was going on, and it was louder than I've ever heard that sound going on. And that was going on right underneath my bathtub, right where all the plumbing is that I've filmed on that wall where the faucet to the bathtub goes. But it was going on at the base of the floor. And there was all this metal pipes just twisting and grinding. And it sounded like they were being torn out of the wall. So I tiptoed into the bathroom after I looked out my door, and I realized there's nobody here. This is more terrorism. And it was clear for me to walk in there, tiptoe in there. And it continued. All of it continued while I was standing right there for a good 2 to 3 minutes. And then I turned the water on. No, maybe 4 minutes, man. I couldn't fucking believe what I was standing by. I couldn't fucking believe what they're doing in 1507 S Street Northwest, and they're doing it to my property, 1509. Again. It was so fucking loud. I still hadn't gone and checked to see if somebody was fucking here in one of these floors. Like, I couldn't believe what I was standing by. And then when I turned the faucet on, after about 10 seconds, no more, they stopped. Everything stopped. There was no more. I ran the water for about a minute, and then I quietly tiptoed downstairs. I went into floor 1. I turned the light on, and that's when I saw this guy. He had been down there the whole time with his dog, wearing his expensive as it can get clothes with his tan in the middle of winter and his military jar haircut and his innocent poor animal that he was dragging through this crap in the alley. And he never left the whole time I was down there. So I went, I turned the dining room light on, and I stood right underneath my bathtub on floor 1. And I started to assess, nobody's fucking here, dude, because I looked, I can see downstairs, there's no visible door open for a street entry, okay? Not this bullshit they do other times. But I hadn't quite cleared that, so I was on my way down. But I stayed in the first floor, and they started it up again. When I was in the first floor and that man was stalking in the alley with his innocent dog, he was there for forever, just hanging out in an alley. Right, clear shot, you can see him right in front of my property. Then they started up again, and they started propelling objects and cranking metal, and everything started up again when I was standing right underneath my bathtub. And then they also were in the wall, so I confirmed this shit was going on the whole wall all the way to the first floor. I'm 5'9", so it was about my height. I could hear something in the wall scraping, not something, but a human being in the wall, dragging something, metal stuff, just heavy grinding objects right in the wall. Like if I were to just crack that wall and take the plaster off, what the fuck is there? And you could hear that, and it was all the way up with the base of the floor, like I just described, right under my bathroom. They started it up again. You could hear everything I just described, but on the first floor this time. And you could hear, that's what I confirmed, that they were in the wall as well, like going from second to first floor. Like, what the fuck kind of terrorism are they doing now? And they were right there, and then that stopped. That stuff that was like my height, right at my eye level, in the wall from 1507 S Street Northwest, that stopped. And that man was still fucking standing there. I could see the fucking motherfucker. The guy just hanging out in the alley for a good 15 minutes. Straight shot from my fucking dining room. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, I go and I check the kitchen. I just look. I'm just assessing for lots of stuff and things, okay? And then I go downstairs. Ain't nobody here. No doors, nothing. Okay? I check every fucking thing for human beings. The traces of them. And I'm doing other things too, but I don't need to list it all while I'm down there. Not really a lot of physical actions, but I don't need to list all this. So, I come tiptoeing back upstairs. Now, I know that this terrace compound, they're aware when I go down there, because of that staircase goes right to their tunnel, goes right into one of their conduct areas to 1507. So I knew they were aware I was down there at that point, if they were still alive. I didn't care. I went down there. It was clear. Go down there. Fucking see what's going on here. So at that point, when I came back upstairs, I heard no more terrorism coming from that house. It was silent as lambs. The man was still fucking standing there in the alley. I gave up. I'm like, this bitch wants to stand there with his poor dog. Let him. Okay? And There they go. That's not what I heard, but there they are, sawing under my floor. Okay, so it was over by the time I came up from the basement, okay? I went back upstairs. I went back to my bathroom. No terrorists, no terrorism. No shooting propelling objects. And then here we just filmed it again. They're back under the floor and they're doing their typical sawing. And this can become way worse. But when it starts to get jaw-dropping insanity with the objects and other terrorism that I witnessed that occurs under my floor, other than the sawing, I can't film it. I'm forbidden. It starts to get into stuff that's not my department. Okay, bye.